Shades EQ Gloss from Redken have two new series, the NVs and the NPs. I've tested them and used them, and if you want to know all about them, keep on watching. Hello and welcome to the world of Craig. Yes, that's me, I'm Craig, and this is my channel where we get into all things hair and sometimes a little bit of beauty. Yes, the elephant in the room, I'm not entirely sure when this video is going out, but I am blonde again. Hurrah, blonde for the summer. I just love being blonde. But anyway, I'm basically taking some time off, but everything is all uploaded and ready and scheduled, but I'm not exactly sure when this video is coming. But hey, there are new Shades EQ Gloss shades. How many times in this video am I going to say Shades EQ Gloss? I know that a lot of you that come here to my channel come here for Shades EQ Gloss information. I've been using the line for about 30 years. I teach independently for the brand at the Academy here in London at L'Oreal. Redken is owned by L'Oreal. They gave me, because I was teaching a class, the new NVs and the NPs, and we're going to get into them. We're going to talk about what kind of results you can get, where you would possibly use them, and what is the tonal values and the backgrounds. And if you've never heard that term before, I'm going to explain exactly what that is. Let's get on with it. Just a tiny bit of housekeeping before we get into the information in this video. I do have a Shades EQ Gloss playlist here on my channel that's packed full of Shades EQ Gloss videos. I'm saying it many, many times, but it's packed full of videos. There's formulas, there's how to use it, there's how to get the best from it. There's so much Shades EQ Gloss content here on my channel. I've had a few questions recently, or quite a few comments of people saying, I can't get hold of what I need, I can't get hold of what I need. There's just this thing called Bonder inside. Well, basically, Shades EQ Gloss as we know it, this, with the old packaging, now looks like this. Same thing, it's just that this has Bonder added to it, so it has a bonding ingredient. Does that mean that I don't think you should use your added bonding ingredients, or if you're like me and you use K18, does the new Bonder inside mean that you shouldn't use those? For me, no. I still use my K18 on all my clients. It's just an added benefit inside the product. And just to mention, because I've already waved them on screen, these are lab samples. These are things that I am given, that just in case anyone sees them and thinks, why has he got different bottles? These are lab samples that I'm given before the product actually comes out to test them, okay? This video is not sponsored. I haven't made any Shades EQ Gloss content for a while, any Redken content, because I do have an affiliation with the brand in that I teach and they pay me my day rate to educate, but they don't really support me digitally, which is very odd, and I don't know why. It's one of those things, it is what it is, but that's why sometimes I hold back on making the content, because sometimes it's great as a creator just to get out, oh, well, that's lovely, thank you very much, but I don't get any of that. So just a bit of full transparency, but this video is not sponsored. Okay, let's talk about Shades EQ and its, how many times, and its backgrounds. And of course, if you enjoy this video and find it helpful, you know exactly what to do, don't you? I have to get that in here before we get into all of the information. Now, something that Shades EQ, that Redken doesn't really put out there, although their grid on Instagram is really fantastic, really amazing. There's lots of information, and I think it's very clever how they have diagrams that break down the tonal values in the backgrounds, which I know some people struggle with. So let's pop these on the screen. I'm not sure if I don't think I'm supposed to actually post these on a post on anything, but I'm going to share them with you. I've had these for a long time. They are something that I really wanted to put out there, and when I have a class, we have these in classes like cutouts, like stand-up boards, because I know they're really helpful, and all of the lovely folks that come along to my classes, big up to you if you ever have, they always take photographs of these because they are a game changer. Okay, so these are the backgrounds and tonal values. These are quite old, they've been updated a lot since was given these as new shades. But I just want to get into, because I never have before here on my channel, talked really in depth about backgrounds, not too in depth because we don't want this to be too long. But if you look, for example, if you look on here at the ends, okay? So the ends have brown to tan background and then they have some blue and some violet, quite a soft blue and violet, but that means that the ends are cool. But remember, they have that brown to tan in the ends. Now, the new shades are the NVs and the NPs. So if we look on these charts and we look at the P, we know that the P has a grey background. I'm sure a lot of you have used P. This is the real crux of it all. A lot of you have used the Ps, and the Ps have grey and they have the blue and the violet. And then if we look at the V has no background, it's just pure violet. That's in my formula, one of the things. There's some P in there as well. So basically, remember this, okay, from looking at these charts. If something has a brown to tan background, it means that it is less punchy, it is less pigmented, if you like. There is less opportunity for it to deposit too much coolness than if it has a grey background. Maybe you could screenshot this. Maybe you should screenshot it now. There you go. My brain works in a funny way sometimes. Then if it has a grey background or if it has no background. So remember, brown to tan makes things less punchy. You could use the word more balanced, although I don't really want to use that word because then it means that things that are grey or don't have any background are less balanced. But the things that have brown to tan are less punchy, and the things that are grey, because grey, remember, is made from black and white, so grey is quite powerful. They are more of what Redken would call a corrective, although I don't use that term, a corrective series. And then you have the violet that has no background, and she's incredibly punchy, but she's always meant to be because that is something that you use to neutralize yellow in things like global bleach outs. So now we understand those rules of what backgrounds are. I hope that was helpful. If you would like more information, maybe you'd like a video that's just purely on that. Although I don't really want to make a video where I'm just going through each background one at a time because that would be incredibly boring for anyone to watch. But if you'd like some more information on that, let me know. Now let's talk the NVs and the NPs. Just to add, so of course, if you have all of that information, or if you have an understanding of what the tonal values are and what the backgrounds are, whether they are grey or they are brown to tan, or they don't have a background, whatever shade that is in the Shades EQ series, if you have an understanding of that and you know the colour wheel, we love the colour wheel, then it's really simple to create a formula. That's why I think that those charts are great, and that's why I think it's important to understand what is the tonal value in the background of all of the colours. So we have the NVs and we have the NPs. So if you think of it this way, the NVs are a violet, but it has a brown to tan background because of the N and the V. So that means that it is less punchy than the V on its own, the V series on its own, which is a brilliant, we need the Vs as hair professionals, because it's just the most incredible tool in our hair colouring kit, if you like. And then you have the NPs. So the NPs have that brown to tan background, remember, and then they have the P, which is a mixture of the blue and the violet. So I mean, they're just the most amazing new series. So what would you use them for? Well, both of the two new series, they come in a level 8 and also in a level 10. And I have tried all of them, and I have been using both sets of the new series in the salon. And we also use them in my class. Now, what I'm about to show you on here, what I'm going to insert later on, this is not my work, it is work that I helped other people produce, but it was a lovely salon that came and did a class at the academy. So, and I'm going to share their formulas with you as well, because I know that they would be happy for me to do so. The most incredible people. It still blows my mind after 11 years, I think, maybe 10 years of sharing education at Redken, but yeah, it's still amazing that I get to go and do that. And I love sharing education in person. It's a very special thing, and it's right up there for me. So let's have a look at some formulas. Now, this is a very beautiful icy result, and that's using both the NP and the NV on levels 10. I'll put the formula on the screen as well. I can't remember it off by heart, but I have it written down, so I'll pop it on screen as well. Absolutely gorgeous, but quite soft in its iciness. And then we have this formula here, which is a very beautiful sun-kissed formula that has a little bit of the NV in it, but it also has NB and it also has some gold. The NV gives it that kind of slight zinginess and keeps things bright, but then obviously we've got the gold reflect from the G and then the NB which kind of grounds it. So there's a couple of different formulas for you using the new shades, but really they can be used for many different things. I would always suggest that if you're going to use the 10s, that they go on a very clean canvas, because then you get the truest results. If you use a 10 on a level 8 lift, you're not going to get target shade, you're not going to get what you're expecting. And then the 8s, the 8 NV and the 8 NP, lots of numbers and letters, they're really good on a level 8. But again, you could use them on a level 7, you wouldn't get target shade, but they would on a level 8, because they are an 8, help to give you that target shade because you're toning on the level. So that's it for our look at the NVs and the NPs from Shades EQ Gloss. Have you used them? Would you like to try them now that you've seen this? What is your favourite series from the line? If you use the line, what do you use the most of? Just a quick reminder that there is a ton of Shades EQ Gloss content here on my channel. If you have a question about Shades EQ Gloss, you can leave it in the comments and I will always get back to you. I can't give you out individual specific formulas because it's impossible, because I can't see you and colour is so subjective, but there is that playlist, and I bet if you have a question, I bet there's a video that covers it. There are videos on everything and many formulas. Remember that canvas is always key. You're not going to get an icy result like this on a level 8 lift. Never, ever, ever. A huge thank you if you've got to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. You all take lots of care and I'll see you all in the next one.